gentlemen, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher. Bill's guest tonight from the new movie Coyote Ugly, actress Piper Parabo and actress Maria Bello, recording artist LeAnn Rimes, and producer Jerry Bruckheimer.
All right, thank you very much. Well, all right, I can see you calm down from the excitement of the presidential campaign. They're both on the road. Bush started his big campaign here in California. You pumped? Yeah, I love this, that the Bush campaign, they keep using the code words. They want to restore honor and dignity to the White House. You know what that means, that you know who got you know what. And of course, that's the reason Al Gore got Lieberman on the ticket, because their version of that is, hey, we're going to make the White House kosher again. You should know, these are not the only people running for president. Pat Buchanan, as we speak, is trying to marshal his troops, and I do mean troops. And in Palm Springs this week, yesterday, the Stonewall Democrats are meeting. They are the gay and lesbian Democrats. They have their own convention. And you can tell it's a gay and lesbian convention because all the guys are laying out by the pool and all the women are playing golf. That's how you... Oh, I did the Now, here's big government. Here's what some parties should address. Too much big government in our lives. Today, in Ohio, do you know this? A law goes into effect where if you want to buy 5 or more kegs of beer, you have to register the location of the party, and there is a 5-day waiting period. Now, as a libertarian, I, for one, am incensed that they are treating alcohol like guns. And if you think I'm upset, you should see Charlton Heston. Wow. Now, at the White House today, President Clinton gave the Medal of Freedom to a number of people, Simon Wiesenthal included, also Jesse Jackson, who said he had mixed feelings about the Medal of Freedom. On the one hand, he said it's a great honor. On the other hand, it makes him look like Al Sharpton, which he doesn't. And finally, a happy birthday to Whitney Houston. Is 37 years old today. She had a party. Everybody jumped out, and she ran off. She thought it was an intervention. All right, let's meet our panel. It is our special Coyote Ugly show, so let us meet the people. A talented actress and co-star of The Adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle. She's the small-town girl who meets the big city in Coyote Ugly. God, that sounds like an award show. In theaters everywhere, Piper Parabo. Yeah, hey. How you doing? Thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. Oh, sure. A star of ER in the movie Payback. God, she was good in that. She owns the bar in Coyote Ugly. Maria Bello is right over here. Hi, guys. Hey, you. How you doing? Nice to meet you. And one of the most successful movie producers of all time, from Flashdance and Top Gun. This is his latest. He's a mega. Mr. Jerry Bruckheimer is right over here. Jerry, good pleasure to have you here. Thank you. And finally, one of the shining lights of country music. She released a recording of her early years at the ripe old age of 12. And now she is featured on the Coyote Ugly soundtrack right here. LeAnn Rimes, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, young lady. Nice to have you here. All right. What do you have? Do you have a magazine in case it gets boring?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I do, actually.
Bring a book. Same on your honeymoon. Okay, well, you know, we've seen a lot of clips from this movie. Let's show one here, because I think this... yeah, everybody wants to see this. Okay.
Thanks. I got it on sale now.
Oh, hello. There you are, getting ready for battle. Okay. Now, we've all been seeing these for about 3 weeks, these clips coming on about the movie, and what I was very surprised about was that it opened with, I think, 55% female audience. Were you surprised at that? Because that was very... It looks like, when you see the trailers, that this is going to be a guy movie. It's a bunch of chicks on the bar taking their clothes off. And it's a very entertaining picture. But, you know, when I've asked about why this is, why are women going to see this movie, they say, well, it's empowering. That's the word I hear a lot, empowering. And I just want to know, what is empowering about falling back on sex to get what you want?
Well, I think they're doing what they want to do. I mean, these girls, they're getting paid. Nobody is saying you have to get up there. They're enjoying it. They go on to other careers. In the movies part, she gets empowered by getting confidence by working in this bar and goes on to the career that she wants to really have. That's in the movie. But we know girls have worked in this bar and they've gone on to law school and gone on to be writers, so that's empowering to them.
I think for me too, when I did the movie and looking at it now, Maria's character seems to hire women who are already powerful. I mean, Tyra Banks is in the movie and plays a law student, so it's women who, you know, you need to have powerful women already to run such a raucous place, and it doesn't hurt that they're good looking.
But you're not powerful when you get there.
I know it. Well, in the scene where she hires me...
She just ripped your shirt off.
Yeah,
How powerful is that?
I kind of raised the bar for her empowerment. And I think that the word has been thrown around much in regard to this movie. And I think mostly that is because in older generation, it's such an archaic idea that we can't be sexual beings or dress sexual and be a strong, empowered, feminist woman.
That's not the point.
That is the point.
You're all switching it around. You are.
Why? Say, why?
Because, you know, to call it a water dance is, you know, it's still a wet T-shirt contest. Let's get real.
There's no contest. It's a wet T-shirt, but it's not a contest. But go ahead.
I mean, it reminded me of the Republican convention. The platform is different than the picture. You know, the platform is about empowerment. The picture is, you know, this. And I just think, you know, with women, the rhetoric went one way and the behavior went another way. And they just called the behavior empowerment. But, I mean, anytime you're relying on sex to get what you want, and believe me, I'm not against it, I just don't think that's empowering. I mean, strippers, if you go to a strip club, I've heard, I mean, they do have a lot of power, sure. I mean, the guys are there like this, and they're giving them money, and they're being, you know, the old saying in the strip club, everybody gets laid, but, but that's not really power, is it? I mean, that's not really power.
Well, power is about choice. And all of the women who come to this bar are making a choice to work there. And have you ever been to one of these bars?
I've been to Hogs and Heifers.
Okay, well, similar vibe, right?
What?
And I've been to them as well, and I have certainly been entertained by the women dancing on the bar, and I have a perfectly normal heterosexual appetite. So it's not that they're using their sexuality to entice these men. They are having a great time, and they draw people in by that great time, and I've had a great time myself being there.
And it's a party atmosphere. I mean, it really is. With the girls, is they amp up the crowd. They get it all going. They pour the drinks, they get on the bar, they get everybody dancing. It's exciting. It's fun to be there. It's like a party every time you go to one of these bars.
You ought to make a movie about it, Jerry. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Coyote Ugly rocks. It's sexy and totally hot. Thumbs up. Coyote Ugly. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Well, I'm packing up my game and I'ma head out west. Where real women come equipped with scripts and fake press. Find a nest in the hills, chill like Flint. Buy a new drop top, find a spot to pimp. Then I'ma...
Oh, gosh. I feel empowered. I don't know about you. But I guess the lesson of this movie, one of them is that good-looking women can get men to do anything. Which I think, yeah, just about. And I think they should teach that in school. And no, I'm not. I am actually serious about this. You're probably closer to school than any of you. How old are you now?
I am almost 18.
Almost? Are you serious?
Yes, in a few days.
You're 17?
Yes.
Oh my
I am.
God.
She could be my daughter.
Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. So you must have been in health class recently.
Yes, recently, a few years ago.
Okay, I absolutely think that what they should tell girls in health class that day, we all remember that day where the boys have to leave the room?
Yep.
and they teach you about, you know, menstruation and whatever they teach you. We don't want to know. I think what they should really tell you about is the power that your looks are starting to give you over men. Because nobody ever probably takes you aside and tells you that. And we see images of very young girls wielding this power.
Can kids really understand that at that young of an age? I mean, I think it's something that you learn as time goes on in school. I remember, you know, guys, when you were younger, they would be so standoffish. They didn't care about girls. But, you know, as soon as you hit like sixth and seventh grade, you know, guys would always, you know, slap you on the butt or go by and, you know, say like different things. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it definitely happens very young in this day and time. But, you know, kids learning about sex. But I don't know if you really they understand the empowerment that the girls are going to have over guys at that young of an age.
And that's what they should be told.
Well, but that's something they should learn maybe from their parents, not from someone, not from school.
It's hard. I completely disagree because I think a girl knows from the time she's 2 or 3 years old that a smile and a wink at her father will get her what she wants.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. We're not talking about sexuality. We're talking about getting what you want.
That is so not true because I'm a woman and I was 2 or 3 years old and I
didn't
never
smile at your dad and
Nope.
say, "Daddy, please." You didn't get what you wanted. Come on, of course you did.
No, I never had that and I think that
Do you say "Daddy, please" now?
I didn't either. I never had
Rarely.
I've watched little girls work their parents and work other men and get what they
And
want.
little boys work their parents and little men. I mean,
Well,
we're not talking about just one gender against the other. I think that we do have to explain to young women and young men that their sexuality is something powerful and something extraordinary. Now kids, you know, 12-year-old kids are going into bathrooms giving each other right? It's like a big thing in California now because they don't understand
I've
how
re-enrolled.
powerful it is.
But
I think power, though, comes from the people who give it. I mean, you know, king walks into court, he's wearing a crown. If no one bows, no one bows. It's the person, you know what I mean? It's everyone else that gives you the power. If you walk into a room and no one's listening, it doesn't matter, do you know what I mean? Like, it's people give you that power. It's not just the wink. You know, I've seen plenty of people wink and I turn and walk away.
we're talking about you winking. We're talking about the power that the woman has. We're talking about the power that, more importantly, the girl has before she even understands the power. And, you know, I think you fall into a trap a lot of people do when they try to equate the sexes equally. It's not the same for a boy and a girl. A boy does not have any sexual power. Unless you're in a boy band.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Or an actor.
No, I'm sorry.
Look at Hanson.
I'm sorry, but I have to bring this up right now. You have sexual power when you do something like this, okay?
Oh, jeez.
Now, this is such a beautiful picture of him with his shirt off. So, you know what? Men, but it's a good example. Men do have sexual power in a lot of ways. Or why would they do a beefcake issue?
Exploring your sexuality.
Well,
Bill.
you know,
Shame.
Is that the beefcake?
It's the beefcake issue, and he's...
Yeah, Bill. There's your wink right there.
All right, but that's not really what we're talking about, is it, Jerry?
It's not what we're talking about.
That's an,
But I had to bring
that's
that
an
up.
aberration. I mean, you know, all the other guys in there are like 22.
But still, men do have sexual power over women. I mean, if you're attracted to a man, I mean, if a good-looking man walks by, I think, to me, it's just as like a good-looking girl walking by and winking at you.
No.
But you're trained not to respond whatsoever.
We're trained?
Men, yes, you
Trained,
are.
okay.
You are brought up to not respond. Where men right
Not
away
in my
show
generation.
it. They show.
My
They
generation
respond.
is completely different. I mean, I'm 17. These girls, I mean, this issue is not even really brought up in my generation because women are taught to be whatever they want to be. They're taught to get, you know, what they want to get by being a strong woman. And being a strong woman is not necessarily selling sex. I've never sold sex and being a strong woman. I am a strong
I have your albums, and you have pictures on the cover.
I can be sexy, but I'm not. But I'm.
You can't tell me. Then why don't they put a picture of your house on the cover of the album instead of you? I mean.
Sexuality is certainly a big, you know, a part of who we are as human beings, and something to be celebrated and enjoyed. And LeAnn,
you're preaching to the converted here. I mean,
and for LeAnn to be on her cover, she's a sexual being. She's not exploiting herself sexually.
Exactly.
She's owning her sexuality.
that's not what she said. She said she's not selling sex.
Well, I'm not. But
But your record company insists. If you said to your record company, well, you could get away with it because you have the power. But you have real, but see, you have real power because you have real talent and people like to listen to your records. They like to listen to them.
Okay, thank
but,
you. Thank you.
Yeah, but they still want that picture of you on the cover
Okay.
looking hot.
Well, absolutely. But like she said, I am owning my sexuality. It's not that I mean, I am selling sex in a way, but I'm not going out and exploiting myself
Right.
to have to sell something.
Because
and I
it's
think
your
that
choice,
women,
ultimately.
exactly, and I think
That's
women.
Jerry's job.
Yes.
I'm just kidding, but I have to take a commercial. We'll be right back.
Join us tomorrow when our guest will be from Saving Grace, Craig Ferguson, homeless activist Ted Hayes, and radio talk show host Rick Roberts.
All right, I guess we're talking about selling sexuality. Well, tell me what you were saying in the break, 'cause that was interesting.
Saying that there's a difference between selling sex and
Yeah.
selling sexuality. Like just in the last few minutes when we were talking, we were saying, oh well, putting LeAnn's picture on the album or the movie
Right.
is selling sex, but really it's prostitutes that sell sex. I mean, it's a different thing.
Well-
it's a semantic difference, but I mean, like our movie isn't selling sex. I mean, literally,
Well-
because it's two-dimensional.
It's selling the...
It'd be very bad sex.
Yeah. And there isn't really even much sex in it.
No, it's a very sweet story, and the advertising tells
I
you
don't-
something different, but it's a wonderful fairy tale. It's really what the movie is.
Yeah.
It's about a girl who has a dream and reaches her dream through
Yeah.
inspiration from other women.
Yes, and how
I-
often do we see films coming out of Hollywood talk about empowering? And Jerry's done quite a few of these films. He's done Dangerous Minds and Flashdance, women-centric films, which are really rare, especially to see a film about a young woman who follows her dream, and that's empowering to see
But
that.
young women, I've sort of made a crusade about the way politicians talk about children in this country. Everything is for the children. It used to be people mattered in this country, but now if you want to stop people from smoking or clean up a toxic waste dump, whatever, it's for the children. We all seem to care about the children more than anything else. However, when they need a child as a model or an actor, they have no problem ripping them out of school and putting them up and corrupting them at the age of 14,
And
right?
the best-looking ones, too,
Yeah.
usually.
So, I mean, that rhetoric about children is a bunch of bull, right? I mean, how old were you when they started with you?
I started when I was 12 professionally, like say when I got my record contract. But it was my choice. It really was. I've always.
But can a 12-year-old really have?
Yes, they can. They really can. I mean, I've always been very mature for my age in a way that, I grew up with adults. I've been singing all my life. And my parents didn't push me. My dad and my mom have both been very behind me through everything. But they've never pushed me into doing this. So it was my decision. I kind of got caught up in a whirlwind of it when it all started happening. And that really wasn't my decision, but it just, but I don't think it, it was very interesting starting at that young of an age. It really was. But I think I definitely had a choice to make that decision on my own.
You wanted it, didn't
I
you?
wanted it. I've always wanted it.
But when
People
I was...
don't understand, though, how a 12-year-old can make that decision, but they
I
they
don't
can.
understand how, because I
I don't either, but I mean, I knew for myself that that's what I wanted to do.
Some kids are natural performers. She was a natural performer. She wanted to do it. She went out and did it. So it happened she was 12 years old. That's a fantastic thing. So many people are in the audience or watching us now, want to be singers, want to be actors, have no idea how to do it. She figured out a way to
And
do it.
have no talent to do it.
That's true, too.
That's the
That's a
problem.
different thing altogether.
We're talking about something
Right,
different.
but we encourage everyone in this country. That seems to be the only profession that has any merit anymore in America, is to go into show business, to be a model, to go to a high school, talk to young girls. What do you think they want to say they want to do? Doctor, lawyer? No. They want to be a model. They want to be a Spice Girl.
You're right.
Yeah.
I've interviewed kids all around the world about what they wanted
Really?
to do. Yeah, with their lives and their hopes and their dreams. And most of the kids here in America want to be models or actors, and the boys want to be basketball players. That's the way it goes.
Well, that's who they have
in other
to look
countries,
up to.
it's not true
Even the
because
white
the media
kids.
is different. Even the short white guys.
But isn't that wrong? Isn't that bad? Isn't that leading kids to something? I mean, we all know, we're all in show business, come on. A very, very, very slim amount of people can make it to the top, can even make it at all. That's why we have strikes, because 99% of the people in the union don't work anyway.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
So isn't that a rotten thing?
I don't think so. I mean, when you ask a child what they want to be, it doesn't necessarily mean what they're going to be. I didn't become a professional actress until after I'd graduated college. And there was a small number of students studying acting compared to the students that were studying business or economics or accounting. So I think it's a little misleading to say that, well, a 10-year-old wants to be an actor, but that's what they see on television. They don't hang out with
Kids' dreams change like every
Yeah,
day.
once they're
They
17
do.
and 18, it all changes. Then reality sets in.
Kids' dreams
You got to
change.
make a
I mean,
living.
like, I remember wanting to be, one minute I wanted to be a doctor and a psychologist, and the next minute I wanted to be a singer, and then I'd go right back to wanting to be a dentist. And then, but then I stuck to singing because I knew I had a niche for it. I loved it, and I wanted to do it. So.
Well, you made the right choice.
Well, thank you.
Okay,
sure
we got a
did.
break. We'll come right back. All right, Coyote Ugly is the movie we've been talking about. Go see it. I laughed, I cried, I masturbated when I got home. Tomorrow we have Craig Ferguson, Victoria Rowell, Ted Hayes, and Rick Roberts.